In the last 30 days, I bulked up from 175 pounds to 190 pounds while staying relatively lean. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you everything I did so that when you decide to go on a bulk, you don't make the same mistake I did and end up looking like this. And before we dive in, I just wanted to mention that if you're serious about transforming your physique before this summer and you need personalized guidance, you can apply to my one-on-one coaching where I'll work with you directly to help you achieve your dream physique. So the book a call link is going to be in the description when you're ready to take your physique and your mindset to the next level. But without any further ado, this is my full guide for you guys to put on an insane amount of muscle without getting fat. So starting off with the first and most important thing when it comes to building muscle without getting fat, it is your nutrition. Now, if you're watching this video, you're most likely a skinny fat guy like I used to be. And I know how sick and tired you are of never filling out the sleeves of your t-shirts because your arms are so skinny. But then when you buy a size smaller of shirt to make your arms look better, it always ends up hugging your stomach and you got to do the classic shirt pull thing that we've all done hundreds of times before. Trust me, bro, I get it, and I don't want that for you. So when it comes to nutrition, the general rule for lean bulking is to eat in a calorie surplus of 300 to 500 more calories than you are burning on a day-to-day basis. And if you don't know how many calories you're burning per day, I'll leave a link to a calorie calculator in the description where all you have to do is just put in your basic information and it'll give you a rough estimate of how many calories you burn on average per day. And then when you get that number, add 300 to 500 calories to that number, and that will be the number that you aim for every single day. But if you're busy like I am and you find it hard to get your calories in and hit your macros every single day without eating shitty food so that you can actually build muscle and not fat, here are a few tips that have helped me get my calories in and hit my protein goal specifically every single day, even with a busy schedule. So the first one is liquid calories. One of the most effective strategies that I've personally used to build muscle without getting fat was to include liquid calories into my diet. For example, this beautiful box of greatness right here has 30 grams of protein for only 160 calories, and they're sold at pretty much any grocery store that you go to in your town. I personally make sure to have at least one of these a day, and on the days that I'm busier than usual, I can take these on the go with me, so I know that if all else fails, I can drink 2 of those things in less than 5 minutes and get a third of my protein in for the day for only 320 calories. And the good thing about liquid calories as well is that they don't fill you up as much. So when you get back home from school or work or whatever it might be, you'll still have the appetite to smash the rest of your calories and your macros for the day. But in addition to that, the second tip is eating calorie-dense foods. Now, obviously, junk foods are calorically dense, but this is where a lot of people get it wrong. They think that it's just calories in, calories out. But what actually happens is they end up overeating these junk foods because, for one, these highly processed foods are extremely addictive. And number 2, they don't track their macros. So they think that they're eating 400 calories and 50 grams of protein from McDonald's. But when you actually track it, it's actually 750 calories for only 35 grams of protein. And that's when their bulking physique ends up looking like this. So you want to try your best to eat healthy calorie-dense foods such as avocados, nuts, and peanut butter, which are all great because you can take those on the go with you as well. And then when you actually have the time to prepare meals yourself, make sure you cook your meats in either avocado oil, beef tallow, or ghee, which is a type of butter, because all of those have extremely healthy fats in them. Now, for tip number 3, the most important thing to track when it comes to gaining weight and building muscle without getting fat is how many grams of protein you are getting every single day. You should realistically be aiming to get at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And the amount of people that I've helped in the past who have had this same goal, but then when I ask them how many grams of protein they're getting, they're like, maybe like 100. And I'm like, well, no shit, you're getting fat. You're not even tracking it, 1. And then 2, when I actually sat there and did the math with him of what kind of macros he was hitting every single day, he's at like 400 grams of carbs and less than 100 grams of protein every single day. And yeah, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not as hard as you think to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. You can use the protein shakes like I mentioned earlier. You can buy some protein powder from the store. You can have meals of just ground beef and eggs if you have to. It really all comes down to how bad you really want it. You either spend the time to find the high protein foods that work best for you, or you can get a coach who will do it for you. But now, the second part of this equation is your training. And when it comes to your training, most people follow a split called the bro split, where you train only one muscle group per day. For example, chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, shoulders on Thursday, and then arms on Friday. And then they just repeat that cycle. And this was something that I followed for a very long time. And although it does work, I realize now that if you want to build the most muscle possible, you ideally want to train every single muscle group directly twice per week. So the best split to follow is all going to depend on your goals and how many days per week you can get in the gym to train, which is why I always make custom training programs for every single solitary one of my clients. But if you're looking for a new split to run just to change things up a bit, here's the one that I currently run that makes sure that I hit every single muscle group at least twice per week. So if you want to screenshot that now and try it out for yourself, you can go right ahead. And now, last but definitely not least, the most important thing when it comes to your training in order to make the most gains possible is progressive overload. And all this means is you're either doing more weight than last time or you're doing more reps with the same weight than last time. Because you've probably seen the guy in the gym who's been curling the 20s for probably the last 20 years, and he looks the same as when you first saw him in the gym, right? That's why. Because progressive overload is not only going to help you get stronger week by week, but it's going to help you put on more size and build more muscle week by week. So make sure you are tracking your workouts either on your own or, like I said, yeah, I know, get a coach, shut the fuck up, right? But I'm telling you, bro, I've had multiple coaches. C-Bum has coaches. All the top guys have coaches. So what makes you think you, with your Mr. Potato Head build, doesn't need a coach? But now, I was going to end the video here, but I decided to throw in a bit of a bonus for you guys who have made it to this point in the video, and it is on your mindset and your consistency. Your consistency is going to be the single most important part of your entire fitness journey, because you can train like David Goggins for a week and lose 20 pounds, which is great. But if you're right back to the couch eating potato chips and watching Netflix the following week, all that training doesn't mean shit, right? So make sure you are staying consistent to the process every single solitary day by holding yourself accountable or getting someone else to hold you accountable for you. And when it comes to the mindset, I know it's easy to get discouraged when you compare yourself to all these different people online, especially when most of them are just blasting gear and lying to you about how long it took them to make their transformation. So the piece of advice that I always give is a principle that I learned from the book, The 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson, which it says, don't compare yourself to others, compete with them, and only compare yourself to the version of you yesterday. And that is exactly how I was able to gain 15 pounds in 30 days without getting fat. And if you've made it to this point in the video, I just want to let you guys know how much I appreciate you. Seeing you guys make progress genuinely gets me out of bed at 4:30 every single solitary day. And it's the reason that I work as hard as I do. But thank you guys for watching. And as always, remember, success is not the best revenge. It is the only revenge.